Good day, collective. How y'all holding it down? We are at the middle of the week. And what a crazy week it is, y'all. Welcome to the Celestial Kingdom frequency, where we are very intentional about creating heaven on earth. In a world full of confusion, welcome. Today's word is People Are So People by RJ. I remember when he said that and I was like, very much so. And I think we were having a conversation just about society and how the world was going and how, sometimes when you're more spiritual, where you're more conscious, you're more aware, it's easy to fall into a state of frustration and pessimism because when you're conscious like that and you're spiritual, you very much stand out. You very much have to kind of isolate and hermit yourself. And I'll admit y'all, for a while, like when that movie came out, Idiocracy, and I remember being like, man, it's too real, like in terms of what's going on in the world. And I at one point in my life had thought very negatively just overall about the state of humanity and like where we are going. And like for example, I got banned from promoting on TikTok until 2035 because I mentioned God, and then there's like all kinds of curse words and like all this inappropriate stuff that at the time was circulating on TikTok. And I'm like, okay. And then like you see 1.2 million likes on like the most mundane, like thoughtless things, and there's nothing thought-provoking, nothing transformative. But I guess it's because it's light and people need to laugh. But I just say that because my perception as I have grown has changed about why people are so people. And I think when I think about some of the common characteristics that I see in this world, like y'all, I had a dream once where I was like coming down a cave and it was like everything was like dark gray. And I entered this cave that was circular and it was very dark. And I had my finger pointed out. And on my finger, it was illuminated, of light. And I had my finger extended, only I was going down toward, I had it and it was like guiding me so I could see as I went down. It was kind of scary. But the more that it became illuminated going down the cave, I started seeing at the end of the cave were people on top of people. Talk about scary. And they were all gray. They were all dimmed. And the more I came down the cave, the more that they started to regain their color and started shining. And like my goal was to keep going. Like as I even passing the people that I was illuminating, I kept going. My point was to illuminate as many people as I could, that I can. And I had that before I even started on my spiritual ascension journey. When I woke up, I was like, what in the world was that dream, y'all? It's kind of similar to the one I had where I had my 2 rings and the ancestors lifting me up and I was flying across the freaking US and I was like illuminating everything and I was like a phoenix. But what I'm saying is a lot of people are so people because they have forgotten who they are. They have forgotten that they are divine beings and creators from the Most High God. And at the core of it is fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of the unknown. Fear of knowing themselves. Fear of confronting themselves. Fear of the truth. And so many of us at this point in time, with all the chaos and all the fear that's going out here, that's being consistently perpetuated in the media and in society, has forced a lot of us to become creatures of habit, like unquestioningly creatures of conditioning and of programming. We have become zombie, y'all. Like when we talk about the Walking Dead, we have a lot of walking zombies. We have walking zombies, people who don't think much, who just kind of go with the programming of the Dark Matrix. And then we also have a lot of karmics too that are like mixed in. Those who are going around being influenced by dark forces that are trying to hold others back from ascending. And who are just so influenced and overtaken by dark influences, and they're totally in their lower self, right? That they just, you know, then they're acting completely out of fear, and there's so many different things that could come out of fear, so many different things, including being judgmental. And this goes for a lot of people in our world today. So many people are judgmental. So we talk about how people are so people, a lot of people are judgmental. And a lot of people are judgmental because being judgmental is a defense mechanism. It makes it easier to be judgmental and judge others than being empathetic, then actually being compassionate and trying to support in some way. Does it mean that you take on their pain? No, but being supportive, being so people. I see, you know, people have lost their humanity and their ability to be caring human beings, you know, because that, you know, being caring would require that they have to address their own pain, and that they have to understand other people's pain, and that they have to be vulnerable. Being cold and detached makes it so that you don't have to be vulnerable. People being so people, there are so many people that are brainwashed at this point by society norms, by looking at these celebrities. Oh my God, did you hear this? Oh, you hear that? Oh, You're talking about things that don't even matter, that are all distractions. This rap and other music out here, y'all, I love hip hop. I love real hip hop. This stuff nowadays, it's demonic. And it's got all kinds of low frequency vibrations that brainwash, that incite, especially Black people, to inflict violence on ourselves, as inflicting violence man against woman, destroying our families. You know, and it encourages us to follow the crowd, to want to be part of the crowd at the expense of doing what's right, which is going to take us to another message later this week about how inclusion is it can be so destructive in that way. People being so people means that the people who are privileged don't want to share the privilege, that they want to control. And again, it's based out of fear. I can't lose my standing. There's not enough to share with everyone. So even though I see that person over there starving and I know I have enough that I can give them and that I'll still be okay, I'm still not going to give them more. Instead, I'm going to hoard so that I can have more and my family can have more. That is a lower frequency mindset. We have to get back to basics. We have to redefine the norms that make us who we are. People are being so people means war and violence. Those again, based out of fear. We have forgotten who we are, that peace should be the ultimate state of being that we should strive to achieve. It is, again, about controlling when we feel powerless, controlling when we feel threatened, instead of talking and understanding and relating and growing. Liars. There's so many people who lie on a daily basis. They lie over the most stupidest things. I just be looking at people like, don't you get sick of lying? How do you keep track of your lies? Truth is derived, again, from fear. If you have to be truthful, then you have, you can convince yourself that everything's okay. You can have that false security. You can lie to yourself about things you're doing that's messing up. You can lie to yourself and say that your life is ideal. You can hide from the world how karmic you are. And I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm talking about people that are like this, that it gives you a way of hiding this aspect of yourself and bad behavior and jealousy. There's so many people that are jealous, and that's all about not being secure with us as our sovereign beings and being confident in that. Because why would we be in a state of lack thinking about what another person has and get in our feelings about it, then congratulating them and then drawing it into ourselves? And then gossiping is all about focusing on other people, then getting your house together. Stop talking about other people and let's focus on ourselves. So People are so people, but it's because we have forgotten how wonderful we are.